So once again, I open my Windows Server 2016, which is the machine which I'm gonna clone. I just would like to be sure when I check the server manager of it to be sure that all the settings are okay. So when I clone it 3 times, as per the schema which I showed it on the whiteboard, everything to be very easily after this done. Okay, that's what I'm checking at the moment. Now the computer name source, you know, guys, in the case which I'm gonna connect several machines, and I would like to be, I wanna communicate with this machine and use some protocols which will propagate through them. One of the very major, let's say, something which is important is the name of the machines which will be communicating and which will be in the same network do not to be the same. So I need to change this name in any of the machines there. That's first thing. Also the IP address is supposed to be different as well when they're in the same network. Okay, if they're in a different networks and they will communicate through a network device which we know commonly as router, there will be no problem. Okay, but if they're in the same network, in the same IP address, will create problems. Okay, the MAC addresses of these machines is particularly important because when we do copy of this machine, when we clone them on the virtual box, by default, the MAC address or the media access control address, hardware address also called, okay, it's supposed to be different. It will be the same, so we need to produce a different for the machine because the same thing will happen when they're in the same network. They won't communicate to each other. There is a protocol called ARP, you know. So if this protocol goes back and forth through in the same network with the same IP address, there will be problems machines to connect. That's why we need to check this thing too. Now the Windows firewall, as you see, guys, it's shut it down, and I would suggest you do it, even though it's not a good practice. And the next course is when we start learning about the firewall, we're gonna start it up. But for now, just shut it down because otherwise there will be a little bit of additional work which we would like to avoid. Okay, so to shut it down, as you see, I just click on the hyperlink which was provided there, and then I'm gonna go turn Windows firewall on or off. It's turned off already on my machine, but as you see, that's what it's supposed to be. Most of the time, it's supposed to be actually turned on, and you need to say notify me, like I'm doing it like this. So when there is something which wants to go through the firewall, it will notify you, and you're gonna allow or disallow it. Okay. Once again, because for this particular case, we want to concentrate on other thing, we're gonna shut down our firewall the way I'm doing it at the moment. Okay. You're gonna do it the way I'm doing it at the moment. Turn off Windows firewall at the moment. So I'm gonna click cancel on this. I don't want to do anything. That's for the firewall. Now the remote management will be enabled by default. The remote desktop, you could enable it. So click on this one. It's enabled for me already. And you need to click allow remote connection and uncheck this one. So this will allow you, I will show it to you how. It could allow you guys afterwards to work remotely on this virtual machine from your real computer, actually, which is very cool. You don't need to open any of this. I mean, you just start them, you minimize them, and you work right away from your computer. And it has another very good positive thing. You could copy and paste very easily things from your real computer to your virtual computer and backwards, which is cool. Okay. Computer name at the moment, which we also have it here as we mentioned, is the source. So if I go change here, I'm gonna change it when I start cloning the machines, and the work group would be work group. There will be no domain. For the domain, if you remember, I mentioned it in the first course, you need to have a server which is called a domain controller with specific server roles installed on it. So this computer to provide with domain ability, machines to connect to the domain. So we cannot do it at the moment. We're gonna leave it as it is. These are the first two options, computer name and work group. IP version 4 address assigned by DHCP, that's good. Well, IPv6, we're gonna disable it, so I'm gonna click on this link. Why? Because by default, the IPv6 reacts the same in any network protocol, any TCP which occurs there, or TCP/IP, which occurs within the network. The first thing which responds is IP version 6, meaning if you have trouble with IP version 4, which we're gonna work on, basically it might masquerade the real problem by responding on the IP version 6. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna open the properties here, or I'm gonna click twice on this one. It's better. In this case, if you click on details, you see the same thing as if you do ipconfig/all on the CMD. Okay, so you see everything. I see my IP address, my gateway, DHCP server. I see the DNS servers and all of these things. Okay, so I'll close this thing now. Actually, in the properties, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna stop the IP version 6. Be careful, don't stop the IP version 4, right? So here it will appear and I'm gonna stop it. Yeah, here it is. I just gonna uncheck the box which says Internet Protocol version 6, TCP/IP version 6. So I'm gonna just uncheck it and I'm gonna click OK. Well, just to check here, I'll click twice. You see obtain IP address automatically, obtain DNS server address automatically. That means when this computer boots up, it's starting asking for, it's looking for a server which is called DHCP server, okay, which provides with IP addresses, and eventually it will get all of this information. When we click on the details once again, it will get the IP address out of this server. It will get the default gateway. The default gateway is very important. That's where we're gonna go to internet. It's also called the next hop. It's in Linux, it's called default route. Okay, so we have a DHCP server. As you see, everything what is 10.02, it's provided by the virtual box. So that's the DHCP server, the small green machine within the internet, which I put it for you in green there. That's provided by VirtualBox. And I have the DNS servers from the school. Okay, it's finding them automatically because the DHCP server, this guy from VirtualBox provided me very kindly with this. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you how actually it does. So that's what I need. Everything else is okay. On the right side here, last installed updates never. We're gonna leave it for now like this. It's a good idea before you start cloning the machine, actually this to be done. But it is taking a lot of time. It's taking maybe 5-6 hours. You could do it at home basically. For now, I'm not gonna do it. Download updates only is the same thing. And last check for today for updates is today. Now the Windows Defender. Again, we don't stop it in the real machines. That's our protection. That's the antivirus protection. But because we're in a virtual environment, in lab virtual environment, we're gonna click on this. I already stopped it. I would suggest you guys to stop it too, because otherwise it will give you some problems while you're doing some things. It might stop doing you something. The real-time protection you go off. The cloud-based protection you go off. Automatic sample submission you go off, and enhanced notification off. So all of this is better to be off, like I did. The other thing, feedback and diagnostic, you don't touch here. Now, the internet enhanced security configuration. We're working on a server, guys. The server provides services, or also called roles, provides all the clients on the network, or we're gonna see also on the networks which this server serves. Okay, so actually it's a production machine. It's something which does something, right? So we don't want, most of the time we don't want this server to have even internet. That's most of the time. So basically they stop the browser. Okay, that what means the in normal words, that what means the enhanced security configuration, internet enhanced security configuration. That means if you go to google.com, it will start popping up a specific message which will ask you either to allow or to deny any link which is trying to resolve until it gets to the google.com. So it will be a lot of clicking. Now, once again, we are in a not in production environment, we're in a lab environment, and we would like to work fast. So we're gonna allow internet. Plus, we're gonna stop this thing. So to be able to see the internet content on our browser just on the click. Okay, so that's why you just click. In my, it's already off. You're just gonna click on it and you're gonna off the buff. Okay, just click off on the buff. Okay, the time zone, it's a good idea you to come here and to change it. It's -5 Eastern time. Do it this way as well. Now, if you have internet, you're gonna see the product ID. And if you minimize this thing here on the down corner, you're gonna see Windows license valid for 33 days. That means because when you install the trial version of Windows Server, it gives you 180 days. That means already 157 days I use it. Okay, so in 33 days, actually, I need to reinstall the thing again. But for this course, it's good. We're gonna use it. So this is what we do. And basically, if you do this, all of this, your computer seems okay. The only thing which I just would like really to double check is to open my CMD. So I'll click on the sign here, which is, they call it before start menu. Nowadays it's called a charm. So I write down, I don't need to do anything else. I start writing down CMD from command prompt. Okay. Okay, I see the CMD. I'll click on the command prompt. What I'm gonna do will be only simple command ping google.com. It's a simple command, but it will give me a lot of information. See, I have connection to internet. That's what I see. And now something else. It's not only simple connection to internet. I have resolution. You see, I write down google.com, but it replies to me with 172.217.13.174, a specific server IP address which I just connected to. Okay, so we're gonna go through this and step by step, and you're gonna go see, guys, how we troubleshoot this type of things, connectivity issues, and why we do this. Okay, so basically that command, even though it's a very basic and very short command, giving us a lot of information. Okay, so that's good. And from this moment on, I could just shut down this machine. So I click on the start button. I'll go to the power button and I click shut down. I'll do continue, and I will shut down my virtual machine. It is shut it down. That's this machine. The first thing I'm gonna do is to create a new snapshot. Okay, so I'll click again on the hamburger menu here. I'll choose snapshots. Here's the current state, and I just gonna click take. Okay, that's plus sign with this like camera. I'm gonna go do take, and it will say snapshot 2. And I will just write down, need to remember, ready for clonings. Or maybe ready to be cloned. Okay, so that's my snapshot. I'll do okay. You saw how useful is the snapshot concept. Okay, I just restore something which didn't work. And now here's the snapshot 2. And that's the current state after the snapshot. If I start the machine, it will be in the current state. If I would like to save wherever will be after the start until the snapshot 2, which was about 19 seconds ago, or maybe 30 seconds ago now, well, I need to do a new snapshot. That's all. It's like doing a picture, doing a screenshot. I'll click on the hamburger menu. I'll go to the details. And the other thing which I want to do is settings. I'll just want to check the settings on the virtual machine itself. So on the general, the name is okay with me. On the advanced, bidirectional. So I have copy and paste allowed, plus drag and drop allowed from my virtual machine to my real machine, and vice versa. Okay, that's a good thing. It's optional though. Systems, 3 gigabytes. It's okay for now. Maybe we need to decrease it. Well, let's decrease it. Let's do 2048. Okay, 2 gigabytes. And we chose an optical disk. The other, everything else is beneath it. So the first device it will look for operating system will be optical. When it doesn't find it, will be the hard drive. Okay, so that's good. The processor acceleration we don't touch. The display is supposed to be on the max here. That's okay. Storage, that's our virtual machine. We created it. That's the file actually we have. If I hover over it, I'm gonna see where it is. It shows that there is a snapshot as well, and where this snapshot it is as well. So everything is fine. My CD is empty, and I don't need anything, right? It's working fine. The audio is okay. The network. Now, that's what you need, the NAT network. Now, when you choose it, and if you give you here at the bottom, if it gives you an error message, you need to close it. So I'm going to do cancel now. That's what you need to do. You need to do cancel. And then you need to go to the file menu, preferences. And on the preferences, you need to choose the network. And then this one will be empty. And you need to click here on the plus sign, and the NAT network will appear. Now, NAT network won't appear for me because I have already NAT network, right? So it will appear the NAT network. And then when you go back, there will be no error messages when you choose NAT network. Now, make a note of this because the students all the time are asking me this, and I don't want to repeat this 1,000 times. And it's in my movie as well. I'm doing a movie, right? So that's an important thing. I'll do okay. It's supposed to be on the NAT network because the NAT network will provide us with the internet access, will provide us with the DHCP server, which we don't see, which will give us IP addresses, and will provide us with this small virtual switches. So all of these computers we want to hook to the same network, there will be no problem. None of this we see. We don't see it. It's within the virtual box. The NAT network, when we choose NAT network, it provides us with this capability. Okay? Now, because you see, most of these servers, they have two interfaces. So what I need to do next, I need to choose a second interface, network interface for my computer. So on the network, I'll click OK on this. So I'm going to open my settings again, and I'll go to the networks, wherever I stopped, actually. Here it is, the network. So here's the NAT network. Now, if I would like to check my MAC address, here it is. When you clone machine, and if you forget to change while you're cloning, you see this small arrow here. And when I hover over it, it says generates a new random MAC address. Well, that's what you need to do. You just click on it, and it will change the MAC address if you've forgotten it to do it. Okay? So here it is. I'm going to choose the adapter to the next stop on the top. You see it's not enabled by default. I'm going to enable it. And in this case, I'm going to choose internal network. Okay, I'm going to choose internal network, and that's the name of the network, int.net. Now, you see when I click here, it's only this one. What I could do, it's very easy. I could create my own. So I'm going to click int.net, and I'm going to say 1. Okay, I'll click OK. I'll open the settings again for this machine. I'll go again to the network, adapter 2, and it says int.net 1. And if I click now on the drop down, you see I have int.net with 1, which I just created. So in this respect, you could create as many as you want. Now, why I'm doing this? That's this machine. This is this machine, what I'm doing at the moment. So that would be here, NAT network. This one will be int.net 1. Well, this one on that machine on this clone supposed to be on the same one. You know, that's what I'm doing with green. We supposed to have a switch, right, which to connect this machine. So this interface will be on the same one, int.net 1. Well, for this one, because I want them to be on a separate network, I'm going to create in the same way. I'm going to create int.net 2. And on that one, I'm going to create int.net 2 again. So I'm going to use the features of VirtualBox to create, well, it won't be any more NAT network. This one will disappear now. And it will be, this one will be int.net 1, and this one will be int.net 2. It's a lot of writing, but you see how it is. I'm emphasizing on this. It's very important you guys to know which one you use for which machine. Okay? You see these two machines, these interfaces. I'm going to show it to you afterwards how it works. But this interface is supposed to be connected to this. This interface is supposed to be connected to this. These two interfaces, well, this interface is supposed to be connected to this. So it's a little bit of, a little bit of networking before we start networking. Okay? We're going to do this and you're going to sit. Keep this in mind. So let's finish it. When I chosen this one, the last thing, just to double check, it's an optional shared folder. You know, my desktop now is shared with my virtual machine. So when I open it, when I go to my C drive, that's my real machine. But when I go to the C drive, I'm gonna see somewhere here as a network device my real machine's desktop or my virtual machine, which is cool because I could copy and paste stuff from my real machine to my virtual machine. Any questions, guys, up to?